to Lay Low playing Fishing Planet here. I am attempting today to catch panfish instead of the bass here. So I figure what I would do is try and catch. There's a trophy bluegill out here supposedly. We'll see if we can't pull in one or two. Or yeah, just one or two. I've caught one the other day right out here, so I figured what I would try to do is see if I can't pull in another one and see what we can do here today. My plan is to just fill up my my fish net here. See, that's a bluegill here, but it's kind of a smaller one. Yeah, I don't really want to keep that. I think I'm gonna release it, and then we're gonna cast right out there in between those lily pads there and see what I can get. Cast it like last time. I can't remember if I cast it on this side or if I was over there. I'm not really sure, but we'll figure it out here. Just want you guys to know there's more than just bass to catch here. I mean, the trophy bluegill was it wasn't worth very much, to tell you the truth. I think the one I caught was worth like $60. That's what I think it was worth. And I've caught a couple trophy crappies before here on this lake, but nothing to go crazy about. I think the trophy crappie is worth more than what the trophy bluegill would be. And here in a little while, I'll probably move over and show you guys where to continue. You should be able to continuously catch some smallmouth buffalo. Yeah, I'll just give it a shot over here for a little bit and see what happens. A golden shiner. A couple more casts. Actually, let's see. You know what? It seems that there was a time I was at where was it? I think it was Missouri. I was trying to see if I could use bass. I mean, not bass, but use flies to catch bass. And sorry about that. And I ended up catching a pretty big bluegill. It was almost. I mean, it said it was a trophy, but caught a pretty big bluegill out of Missouri. It was rather pretty big, to tell you the truth. See, the only problem is every time you swap the all these baits are things that all these other fish like too. That's the problem I'm gonna have here. But we'll see here. I'll pull it in just a little. It's also rather early. I just came directly out here. I mean, this is a spot I've watched people catch the trophy bluegill, and I've caught one myself. But I'm having this problem right now. Well, see, there's a bluegill. They love flies and crickets and stuff, but it's a little bit bigger. Once it hits around the 5 mark, the .0, I like the .05 something. That's when you start getting close to the trophy bluegill mark. Yeah. And you got to stay close to those lily pads and the weeds and stuff. Because that's where they're gonna be. That's where those things like to hang out at. Because everything, like even all the bugs, every once in a while come from the plant side, and they get around that side, and they start catching the bugs, dude. And and they start catching the bugs and stuff off the water. Yeah. But no luck on that cast. I think it took my bait. But if I don't want to sit here and waste air time showing you guys of catching everything else other than a trophy bluegill. But I don't edit my videos, by the way. I'm not like everybody else. You see what I do live, and that's the way my videos will be. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time trying to go through and edit a video. I hope you guys will show some likes every once in a while. You know what, guys? I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna show you where to catch some smallmouth buffalo. That's what actually look. So over here you go to the home sweet home. Come in, like, see, here's what I do. I always go by. There's this first rock here, and then I'll show you there's this second rock. These second rocks. There's these rocks right here. And what you do is you come across, and obviously you're gonna want to change all your hooks. I want to change my hook from a number 4 because I'm going to be catching it everything other than what I want to catch. Excuse me, to about a 2/0. I'm going to raise my. I'll do that in game. Guys. But they really love these dough balls. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my leader line up to about 50, 60 inches. And what you do is, so out here you see those 2 rocks. So you're going to cast this way with those 2 rocks. Either this side, or you can even go about right here. I wouldn't go too far over that way, but you can catch them. But I would tell you, kind of about right where that blue circle is. You're going to want to cast right out there, just like that. You're going to sit there, basically. But sometimes you end up catching other things, guys. Sometimes you can catch bluegill that'll swim out there. You can catch catfish, all that right there. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna try to find a smallmouth buffalo right out here, but it's also not during peak hours just yet. I want to see if I can get one before I move it into the peak. Well, let's reel it in and see what the peak is real quick. So it's not really peak time. So I'm just gonna fast forward time, guys. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fast forward the time to about 4 p.m. I really didn't want to do this because it's gonna lower my catching time actually. And I'm not sure if I could fill up my keep net during for just this a little amount of time. Let's see if I can even catch one. First off, so let's see. There's a normally I've never had to sit here and wait this long to catch a smallmouth buffalo with dough balls. But also peak time will actually get better closer I get to 5. I just wanted to, have a little extra time to air the video. Just remember, you come down from those rocks. You got the first rock there, and then you got the second rock. And what I do is I get out to the water's edge, and I come over here, and I cast kind of like where I'm at actually, because anywhere from 60 to 80 meters, well, not meters, but 60 to 80 feet from the bank towards those blue rocks. And normally you can get a quick bite pretty quick. And I would tell you, this is high level gear I got, but you don't really need super high gear to catch these smallmouth buffalo, and they give you a pretty good rate. You can get about anywhere from $90 to $100 on them, depending on how big they are. And they're not going to be super huge. It's going to be anywhere from I think the biggest one I caught out here was like about 3 pounds. It's big. 3 pounds for a fish, that's pretty big. But they're not as worth as much as the bass are in this game, on this particular lake, because the bass, and I would say it goes bass and smallmouth buffalo, and then your pickerel. But sometimes I've caught some pretty big pickerel here too that are worth more than are worth about around the same price points as the spotted bass are here. I would also tell you that, unless you're catching like your trophy bluegill and your trophy crappie, you're not really going to catch anything else out here. It's going to be worth a good amount of money, because, the catfish, they're decent, I guess, but, if you're trying to make a lot of money out here, I would tell you, like on my first video, I would tell you to just get on the bass grind out here, because you can catch bass all over this lake, and they bite pretty much all day. You don't even have to worry about peak hours on with the bass. They bite all the time, especially if I can cast from the dock there, from that pier, all the, about anywhere from 100 or more meters, 100 or more feet, yeah, you'll catch a bass like crazy, like all day. But yeah, I just figured what I would do is try to show you there's more to this lake than just the bass. You saw me catch, if you end up watching this video, you saw me catch a few bluegills and a couple of shiners. Yeah, they're not worth much. You can fill up a keep net with those. Probably like anywhere from 900. Well, I don't know about 900. You can leave with a couple $100. It's free. It's a free to play game. It's free money for basically everything that you're catching. But yeah. But let me pull this in. Let me at least attempt to try to catch one fish on this video, right? One fish I'm gonna keep. Let's see. I'll put it directly at, I'll fast forward again, directly to 5 p.m. Let's look at the thing here. Yeah, we're pretty much into the peak area here. And we'll put it like right, like so. There's those rocks again, like I said, guys. Kind of like right there where the ends of the shadows of the trees are. Kind of like right there. We'll just drop it right along there. Yeah, it should be it. Shouldn't take that long. We should get a bite pretty quick. But let's see if we can't catch something here. It looked like I was getting a little bit of a bite. But then again, you know. Then again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if all these people in here. Also, that's another thing I do. Sometimes I don't go into these random rooms. I normally go into rooms by myself. And I start... maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Also helps if I was actually standing in the water, right? I ain't catching nothing, guys. I'm sorry. Everybody likes to watch video with action, right? Not non-action. Alright, guys. Well, if I don't catch nothing on this cast, man, I'm gonna stop the video because I don't think normally they're right out there. I'm telling you. Oh, I'm getting a little bite, guys. It was bouncing. It was moving. Also, during this, like one day I found that I was just looking at stuff through here, and I was going through the settings, and I found that on the PS4 you can take it and put it to where your controller vibrates when a fish is biting on it, and yeah, you go through it, move it to vibrate on tension and just vibration. Put it to on instead of off, and what happens is when you're getting a bite, your pole, your control will vibrate and let you know that you're getting a bite. Kind of makes it easier to where you don't have to sit here all the time and stare at the screens. You can do other things. But I'm not saying that's what I'm doing. No. The reason why I like to do that is because sometimes, maybe you're looking over to, look at your drink that you're about to maybe take a sip of, and then your bobber just fly off out of the two little hash marks on the screen, and you wouldn't even know, and then all of a sudden maybe when you look back at the screen it says strike timed out, and you're like, what? I didn't even see the strike. But if you put it on vibration, you'll see it, you'll feel it, and you'll know, hey, I'm starting to get a bite. So then, you know, makes it easier. Makes it easier on us. So that's another reason why I want to start doing some YouTube videos. I don't have a way of editing everything to make it better for the videos. I'm sorry for those that do watch a video like this where there's no activity. But what I can do is use this as a general education video real quick. So, for those that haven't figured out how to cast yet, because like when you first start the game, most of your pulls are going to be like that. They're going to be like this. And you're going to have to hit the R2 button just to throw it out there like that, like so. Well, if you hit the options button and go I press R1 on the top all the way over to the little gear looking thing is like settings right here, and it says control. You can set it up for right-handed people, or you can set it up for left-handed people. And then at the same time you can look at the little control here, and that's how you got your rod selector. Obviously that's if you have multiple rods. You hold the button and you're going to move the left joystick, and it'll go through your different rods. At the same time, you can go lure and bait selector and hold the R1 down, and it'll go through all the different baits that you have on the screen. And then at the same time, if you look, it also says change cast type right there. So with that being said, all you got to do is hit. Okay, remember you start like this, right? On that particular pole, there should be a cast option. I don't have it anymore. I wish I still would have kept that pole. And then you just hit you just tap down on the right joystick. And then if you hold L2, it'll bring a blue circle. It goes all the way. I mean, you can cast wherever that blue circle is at, as long as it's blue, not red. And yeah, you can aim where you want. So what we're gonna do here, since it's almost in peak hours, right? I'm not really good at fishing for smallmouth buffalo from the dock, but we're gonna try. I haven't caught too many over here. I've seen people do it. So basically, I would tell you they're gonna be out there by those weeds. If I was going to be a fish like that, that's where I would be. And see, there's a dude over there. He caught a trophy bluegill, 0.77, probably like 0.772545, something like that. And yeah, there's a bunch of them on that side over there. The trophy crappie are over here, kind of like where I'm at. And if you put on some, well, I didn't bring any night crawlers today. You can bring, they like minnows a lot. They'll bite upon, I would tell you to, if you're going to use those, if you're going to fish for those, use minnows. Because with minnows, not only with minnows will crappies bite, but you might catch the bass, or a couple, or the pickerel. But and the way you'll know if you have a minnow, I mean not a minnow, but a crappie coming after it, is the bobber starts to move to the left a little. It's the way it kind of actually does in real life as well. It'll start chasing. It's basically gonna play with its dinner before it eats it a little bit. Of course, your bobber is gonna move all the time when you have a minnow anyway, because basically the minnow's running, even attached to the hook. It's gonna run for its life when it sees a big monster fish trying to eat it. So, but it only can go so far, and the majority of the fish that are going to be chasing your minnows are faster than your minnow. So yeah, I would tell you that kind of works. That's the way it does work in reality. I'm sorry for this really boring video, guys. I really thought, I mean, here it goes. You know, it always works when I'm not on video, but when I'm doing the video, yeah. So remember I was telling you about the rod selector. I'm gonna go ahead and select a casting rod here, and I'm gonna show you guys that what I was saying about the not smallmouth buffalo, but about the bass. Because all you gotta do is just aim right out in that direction over there, and once it hits, basically what I do is I press the R2 and I just pop the L2. If you watched my one of my first videos, or the first video I ever did, this is what I was doing on there, even though there was no audio. And then my second one, it got kind of cut short a little bit, but I would tell you, that's all you gotta do. Sometimes you'll catch them on every, look, see? Sometimes you'll catch them on every cast, sometimes you won't. But, just be careful with your drag, and be careful with your, the way you reel in, because some fish are big and some are small. And the majority of them are going to range anywhere from 1 pound to 2 pounds. But yeah, that's all you got to do is just pull back and forth. I mean, hold down the R2, pop the L2. I normally wait for it to hit the bottom, but over here there's a lot of snags. That's the reason why I didn't let it hit the bottom. And yeah, that's all you gotta do is hold down the R2, pop the L2. Cause I haven't mastered that stop and go or none of that. So this to me is like your standard kind of like, it's like a lift and drop style technique, and it seems like it works on almost everything. People tell you don't fish for trout the same way you fish for bass, but all you got to do is just not do the jerk as much. Slow down, like count to 4, and then, you know, like 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, and then, you know, then hit the jerk button, the L2. Or if you're having a problem catching, what I realized is, if you're having a problem catching trout, right, hit your options button, look at your look at your peak hours, put it into the peak, and if you're using baits, change it over. Always try to take a bait pole and a casting pole everywhere you go. That's my advice. And when nothing's biting on your bait, change over to a lure. And one of the big time lures that I find, I missed that bite. I felt it in my hand vibrating. I'll show you the lure I use. Sometimes I've caught a couple spotted bass out here on it, but not very many. I used you got a lemon tiger, and then you got the red one. I used the red one in Colorado. I haven't been anywhere else to go. Well, no, I've been to Oregon. It kinda worked, but I had more success with the lemon tiger there than I did the red tiger one. And then like your pikes and walleyes, they like the lemon tiger as well. The walleyes love that lemon tiger spoon. I also caught a bunch of pike on the red and white spoon that's like this one that I'm using here. I caught a bunch of pike and Emerald Lake on it. Big ones, small ones, trophy size. Yeah, dude. They were loving the hell out of that spoon. See, this is what I was saying in my other video, that when it's in peak hours, I don't really catch that many bass. I really don't, because it seems like what the peak's for is for your pike and all your other fish to be moving around. And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, I don't get it. I never have sat out here this long with only catching one fish or two fish, you know. So yeah, see, I'm telling you, the old technique I use, it does work, but maybe it's a little too fast. I'm not sure. Because my very first video I ever did, I was catching them every single time the line touched the water. But that's also, it wasn't during a peak time. All the times that I've caught all the bass, I filled up a net and like, it seemed like 20 minutes before just coming out here, standing right here on this dock, and I was in my own a private room basically, and I just came out here and I would cast it in there, hold down the R2 button, pop the L2 button, back and forth, and each and every time that before, if I didn't catch them way out there, as soon as I started getting close to the dock, boom, bite, bring it in, take the fish off, cast out, do it again. And it was like every single cast I was pulling in a fish. And, you know, it was like, it was awesome. It was like the best day playing this game I ever had. And, yeah, I mean, I don't really go after panfish that much. Just because I just don't. I always go after the bass here. Whenever you see me out here, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to catch bass. If I'm in Missouri, I'm going after bass and catfish, some pike. It depends on if I get bored or not. And when I'm in New York, I go after the walleye. And if I'll do a bait fishing and lure fishing for them. If I don't catch one, I'll spend an hour trying to catch one. If I don't catch one at all, then I just go ahead and I'll move. I'll change my lure and I'll go directly to catching a pike with the red and white spoon. And I even caught a unique pike in Emerald Lake with a casting spoon. It's the red and white spoon. Sure did. And yeah, it seemed to work. Like, I'll show you. Let's see. We'll go through here. I'll show you the. My fish. I gotta get used to using it. Unique chain pickerel, Emerald Lake. Let's see. Yeah, these trophy long-nosed gar, common snook, trophy largemouth, unique chain pickerel. There we go. That thing right there. Took me a while to get that thing in there. Yep, it was. Look at that thing. Looks like a muskie more than a pickerel. But yeah, caught it out there. And then, oh, I caught this too, trophy rainbow here in Oregon, and I caught it on that lemon tiger spoon. Big 4-pound northern pike, Emerald Lake. Peacock, freshwater drum, huge walleye, trophy blackhead, which anybody can catch. Anybody can catch all these. You really can. It was huge shad. Caught that thing on shrimp. Big spotted bass, gas top sail catfish. Big, look, I caught this. Caught this at in North Carolina, and I was using blood bait. And caught this one, I think at Lone Star. No, I swear I caught that at Lone Star. Or was this? Or was this? No. Show you the. Here you go. I know I got one in here. There it is. Trophy bluegill. And it was where I showed you in the beginning of the video. But it got during the peak. You go during the peak hours. And you, I used the waxworms, I think, is what I caught them on. Because they like waxworms, they like flies. And I was just about to change over to the flies, and this thing bit. Because I wasn't having luck. And bread. No, I caught this on bread, and then I swapped to the waxworms. That's right. I just made a cast out with bread, and that's the first thing I caught. Alright, guys. Well, I think I'm going to end this video. Please, guys, if whoever watches this video, just know that I will go live more. And if you ever have any comments, questions, or anything you want to say, just, you know, post it in the on my post what you want to say on my channel. I'll try to respond. And you know, I got a few subscribers. I'm hoping for more. I got a few people that review it. I hope you guys can, you know, leave some likes or something. I'm not sure. I know this was a terrible video this time, but I apologize. But there is some learning stuff in the video that I did put out. So hopefully you guys can, you know, hopefully something can help you guys. Just know that don't ever give up. There's always trophies. There's always uniques. There's always these different types of huge monster fish that you can catch, and just have fun fishing on Fishing Planet, guys. I do. Alright, well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.